What's up, brother? How you doing? How you feeling? Have you seen your mother? When you see her next time, tell her that I love her. I was crashing in the living.
What's up, brother? This your boy Troy.
What's up, brother? This is Tbrown,
And welcome
and welcome
to
to
the What's Up,
Well,
Brother
brother.
podcast. And we are back, guys, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Now, we always got to start this thing off with thanking you guys for watching on YouTube,
Guys,
listening on
every
Spotify,
single one of you
Apple
guys.
Music, because it is up now on Apple Music. If you guys want to go check it out on Apple Music, it is up there. Spotify.
We try to cater to everybody.
And any other platform that you guys are listening to. We do have
Remember,
a
we put
special shout
snippets
out
up
today.
on TikTok.
We do have a
We
special
out
shout
here.
out today. Yes, TikTok too. TikTok. Yeah, we on TikTok. We'll follow our TikTok. All right. What's up, brother?
On
TikTok.
What's up,
all right?
brother? Podcast on TikTok.
We do want to thank you guys for listening. For you guys over on YouTube, we do want to ask that you guys do hit that like button so we can get the video out to more people with the YouTube algorithm. It's the only way it works. There's no other way we can get it out. We need you guys' help for you guys that are watching. We do appreciate you guys watching the video. And don't forget to leave your feedback down in the comments. Whether you watch the whole video, you watch 20 minutes, you're gonna get back to it later. Right down below, like what you liked, what you didn't like about the first couple of minutes of it, man. And we'll be right there to answer it, man. But we want to give a special shout out to Germany, man. We got one listener out in Germany. Thank you for listening.
God.
I'm gonna try to learn how to say thank you in Germany. Next episode, I'm gonna try.
I only know how to say goodbye.
But I'm gonna try. But we want to thank you guys, man. And we're gonna get into it. We got another guest in the building. All right, another dear friend to us. We grew up with him. Just about everybody that's going to be on here in the earlier so we can stretch out and get more people that we don't know. But yeah, it's a good friend of ours, and he'll be here shortly. So we see you guys when he gets here.
Yeah, it's been a minuto since I seen you, brother.
All right, what's up, brother?
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Now we
loud and clear.
What's going on, Tbrown?
What's up, brother? What's
going on, Angel? What's going on? Yo, it's been a minute, bro. I miss you, G.
Yeah, for real. Last time I seen you on the Dr. J's website modeling some outfits, man. It's been a while.
Shit, you see me on that day? Thank you. That's love right there, bro. No lie, other than my mom, you're like the only person that actually peeped that and said that. Thank you. Damn.
Crazy.
That's like, damn, that's at the beginning of my modeling career too. Jimmy John's, damn.
And I was ordering clothes. I was like, how can I get clothes? So I seen Dr. J's. I'm ordering. And I'm like, y'all know this dude.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, that made me feel good just now. That made my day.
Welcome to the podcast, Angel, man. It's good to see you. Even though I saw you last night. It's good to see you. Thank you for stopping by, man. So we always like to yeah, Tyrone's right. You are giving us the time. We appreciate that.
For real.
But we like to start this podcast off with you telling people who you are. Just a little bit about you.
Give the people a little bit about yourself, brother.
Oh, man, I'll give a little brief summary. My name's Angel. It's right here on the Zoom. Angel.
No, it's not there. It's not there.
It's on there. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, but I claim, I was raised in Jersey, Jersey City. So that's where I claim that's where I'm from, I don't live there no more. I moved out I've been all over the place, but I currently live in Washington State, Seattle area. But yeah, I'm married, got 2 kids, about 3 dogs, not too.
He said 3 dogs. So you spent some time in the Army.
Yeah.
4 years, right?
4.
Oh no, you still there. That's right. You're still there. You're still in.
I'm still putting time in, brother.
That's
what
right.
you mean?
You're
I ain't punch out yet.
That's right. I always get it confused. All right. So when did you enlist in the Army?
Man, I joined 2010.
2010.
That's when I graduated. So here's a crazy thing on that. With Jersey City public schools, you have they extend the school year because of snow days.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So my contract. So I actually signed my contract my junior year of high school. I graduated from Lincoln High School. For those who don't know.
Same here.
All right, let them know.
My junior year, I signed my contract, and then my senior year, I was supposed to leave June 21st. And what happened was with all the snow days, the school year got extended to like the 29th or something like that. So I wound up leaving before even graduating high school. Like it was some crazy stuff.
Crazy.
If I waited the extra days just to walk on stage and do all that other stuff, I would have canceled my contract. So June 2010 is when I joined.
Had to make a decision.
Had
Right.
to make a decision, so.
It ain't all that special anyway, brother. I ain't walk either.
What was some of the reasons you joined the Army? And why did you choose the Army? What was some reason you joined it, and why did you choose it?
The reason why I joined, I was not doing good my senior year. I was actually supposed to not graduate, period. I mean, my grades were horrible. I knew I wanted to do something with myself, but I knew at that point I didn't want to go to college. You know, and I can remember my guidance counselor, I think it was Mr. Ferrero or someone, I can't even remember, but he called me. He was like, hey, we need your SAT scores, your GT scores. We can, you know, and I was like, man, I don't want to do any of that. He was like, well, what are your plans? I was like, you know what? I'm going to join the Army. And, you know, my brother, Anthony, he was trying, you know, he was taking the ASVAB, doing his thing. He was trying to get in too. And after that time, I was like, you know what? Let me just try it, you know. I know Eric at the time, Eric Terry, he was trying to get in, you know, people around me all just trying to get in the Army. So
I remember Eric.
I'm gonna just do it. Eric was in, he did some time too. Yeah. But yeah, that was part of it. I didn't want to go to college. I knew I wanted to do something. I didn't want to stay at home because I was having, you know, on at home. I was like, I just need to get away from this. And I was like, boom, great opportunity right there. And that's what happened. Still in 11 years later.
And why did you choose the Army?
He said not for.
Why not another branch?
I think as well, one, Anthony, my brother, he put me on with this recruiter, Walter Melendez. I'll never forget his name. And he just started, you know, mentoring us for over almost 2 years. He mentored me because, like I said, I joined my junior year of high school. And he was just like every month or every weekend, he'll come hit me up. Hey, let's go work out. Let's do this and that. And it was just, you know, it all fell in line with the Army, you know. I was also thinking Air Force, Navy, but it just, Army was just natural for me. You know,
I ain't mad at you. That's what's up.
How did you go about picking the job you wanted to do in the Army?
That's a good question. So
it's always the hard hitting over here.
The ASVAB score, I didn't score. I actually retook my ASVAB about a year ago because I wanted to change my job. But initially when I took my ASVAB, I scored, I wouldn't say low, I would say about mid-range. And that only opened up a few jobs for me. And I think one of the other jobs is like water purifier. I was like, I do not want to purify water all day. Then,
I wouldn't have minded that. That don't sound bad to me.
That don't sound
that
fun
sound
at
cool.
All. That don't sound
that sound
fun
cool
at all.
to me, bro.
That sound funny to you
like
guys?
That, like figuring out the pH levels of water and making sure and knowing what would be cool enough to drink.
Bro,
like really knowing what you
put
into your body like that, to me, that'd be cool.
That is
and then
cool.
Plus the situations where they coming from, like where you like gotta learn how to be like to survive when you stranded. What is the number one thing you need? Water.
Right.
How you what I could get water out of in order to purify that shit. I'm a survive out here.
I deal with pH. I deal with pH every day with my fish. All right. I don't need no more pH.
See, there you go.
Or anything.
It wasn't for me though. It wasn't for me.
I don't blame you. That don't sound fun at all.
Yeah. So
that don't sound fun at all.
No, so I looked at the school date. So like water purifier was like 11 weeks of school, a couple other jobs I had, and then I saw artillery. So it was HIMARS MLRS. So shooting rockets from a truck. He showed me the video and I was like, I want to do that. School was only 4 weeks long. So you do your basic training, then you go to school for 4 weeks.
They only show you how to push a button, right?
Yeah, so I wanted the quickest way to go and then come back. Because at the time I was thinking I was coming back to Jersey. But
did you get stationed here at first too?
No. I got my first duty station was in South Korea.
Okay.
I remember you telling us that.
We'll get a little to that. Yeah, we'll get a little bit to your stay in South Korea.
But so I did basic training, you know, had a great time. Definitely, you know, a lot of people ask me this question, would you ever do that again? Absolutely. You know, it's crazy how you're mentally and physically, like when you get rid of your phone, when you get rid of all the day-to-day stress and BS going on, you know.
And you could just focus on one thing.
You'll focus on yourself and then, you know, whatever the Army got for you. But it's definitely, it cleanses your mind. Then you're forced to eat healthy food. And it's like, okay, now mentally, physically, feeling really good. And then you get to meet people of all different backgrounds. Like I've linked up with people from, Texas, North Carolina, like all over the place. And they just put you in one bay with them. And it's like, it's
you got no choice but to get to know the people around you.
Yeah, you have to, it's a melting pot of personalities and different background, cultural, all that stuff.
Religions,
great.
Religion. A lot.
Um,
how did your parents take it when you told them that you was going?
So my mom, she was kind of like, obviously your mom don't want you to go, She's like, you can get hurt, this and that. And I was just like, you know what, I just got to get out of here. I want to leave. So my mom eventually became okay with it. My stepdad, he was all right with it. I didn't really tell my biological pops because I actually needed his signature when I signed my contract at 17. Yeah, no, it was straight. Like everyone supported me. Even when I was in basic training, I got them letters coming in. For those who's thinking about joining, them letters come in clutch, man. When you get those letters in, it feels good. Kind of feel like you're in prison, But
it definitely is related to prison because that's exactly how they get their shit. Letters.
It's definitely, you can definitely compare it. But once I graduated basic training, I went over to AIT for 4 weeks out in Oklahoma. So I did basic training in AIT in Oklahoma. And I can remember the last week there, they give out orders. So orders is like, hey, this is where you're going. And I said, I don't care where I go, just don't send me overseas. Because at that time, I just turned 18. Like I was at basic training at 17. By the time AIT came along, I was already 18. I was like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do if they send me overseas. And sure enough, South Korea. And I was like,
crazy.
The land of King.
I was excited but scared. Was that you scared? You were scared.
I was scared. That's what it was. I had
it's that culture shock, bro. It's that you not knowing what to expect, you not knowing what to do.
Was the distance factor the thing too?
I think for me, just the fear of the unknown. It's like, where am I going to? I'm going to a different country. I don't even speak
different norms. They have different laws. Right, different laws, different things you can do and can't do.
Yeah, I didn't even have my driver's license, so I was like, I am not prepared for this at all.
So how was the transition? How was the transition from being growing up in the hood with me to going to the Army? How was that? How did you deal with the transition of it? Because I know it's different from you being in the hood than going somewhere where discipline is important. And only discipline we really had was in our home, not in the street. So like, how did that translate over?
It was definitely a shock for me. Culturally, it was just culture, even from basic training all the way to getting stationed in South Korea. Like I just had to forget everything I knew and just relearn, and just, they give you all the training. They pretty much like in basic training, they just break you down, just forget everything, break you down.
Didn't we just hear that?
Yeah.
Yep, literally.
And then once they break you down, it's now they gotta build you up. But when they build you up, it's how the Army.
Didn't we just hear that?
Yep, true.
Yeah.
It's and that's how it is. And they do it for a reason, because people come from everywhere, and they just need, we need that one, what do you call it? Like that moral compass, like everyone's vision needs to be the same, because y'all there for the same thing.
We all a unit.
It's like the factory, bro. All the machines that's dropping the cream in the cream filled donut, it gotta drop it the same way, because if it's dropping it on the side or before it get there, then some donuts is filled cream, some is half cream, some is no cream. So no, I'm making a joke of it because I explained this last week, but I'm a funny guy, so I try to make light of everything. But no, it is true. When you do go to the Army, they do break you to build you into what they need you to be, because you can't be, that's one job I could say that you can't be what you want to be. You literally have to be what they need you to be, so things run smoothly. Because when you get people that go in and try to be themselves and don't follow the lines they put there, those be the guys that get the other people killed, bro. And
we had a lot of those. We had a lot of those, and they wind up getting the boot.
Yeah, you either get the boot or you get killed. Now, I'm just gonna keep it real. That's the two things that come, because if you're not following orders, or you're trying to do your own thing and you're trying to be a hero, you're trying to think that you could do something without the men that watch your back or keep you safe, you're going to either get them killed or you're going to die yourself. So
You sound like you trying to enlist, bro.
No, for real.
Who, me?
I know some recruiters, Justin.
Who, me?
Let me know.
See, if you watched the last episode, you would know I went through the process to be in the Navy.
Really?
Yes, I just did not go. I just didn't go and take my test.
Here's the thing, Justin. Last 2 weeks ago, when I did my military training, I am processed someone who is 45 years old, and she just enlisted. So,
yes.
So it ain't never
nah,
too late.
listen, I'm gonna get closer. Listen, let me tell you guys something. It ain't for me. Like our last guest said, man, you gotta be a special kind of stupid, bro. And I ain't that stupid. Nah, but I listened into the Navy when I was 17, and I had to go take my test. And the day I went to take my test, I punked out. I would tell you, like, I punked out. I was like, oh, I gotta leave here. Nobody going with me. I don't know where they're gonna send me. I'm gonna be by myself. What the fuck I'm gonna do? Like, I already struggled as a kid, like, to understand what life was with the people around me. Like, to go to another place and then have to figure out the things I did not figure out here and then there too. I was like, nah. So I punked out, and I was like, I'll find a better career. And then that's when I was like, I'll just be a cop. But then that changed over time because cops started killing black people, and black people started killing innocent cops. So I was like, I said this on last week's show. My grandmother and my mom used to cry all the time, bro. All the time telling me not to be a cop. So there was a video. I'll start it from there. So there was a video, and there was a cop behind a pillar and a suspect behind the pillar. And the suspect juked the cop out, went around this side and shot the cop in the back of his head. And at that moment, I changed my mind on being a cop. I was like, nah, that cannot be me. Like, everything my mom cried for, my grandmother cried for, that it hit me right then and there in that moment. It was like, you got to make a decision. I went to school for it. Like I mentioned last week, I have a criminal justice degree. Like, but I just couldn't do it. Changed my mind.
Yeah, and that's what I tell, like, military law enforcement. That ain't the only way to be successful. There's millions of jobs.
Yeah, there's
millions of other ways that you can be. But
see, I wanted to be a homicide detective. I wanted to be a homicide detective, and to be a homicide detective, you have to be a regular cop. Yeah. There's no way you can go and go to school for 7 years and then, like a doctor, there's no way you can go to school and then automatically be a homicide detective. You literally have to go in either a regular uniform cop or undercover cop, narcos cop, and do that for years until you can prove yourself and get promoted. So, and that was another thing that changed my mind. I didn't want to go through that whole process of having to be in the street, putting in work in the street, and then later on, when my body is wearing down, then become a homicide detective. Like, I wanted to do it young. I wanted to be a homicide detective young, where I could run around and chase people and fucking get the answers that people needed on a murder. Don't you run from me! Don't you run from me! It was different from it was a lot. And the reason why I mentioned that, because it was different. Like, if you guys can understand what I'm saying and then understand, the route that Angel took, it was like we grew up right across the street from each other. We were best fucking friends, and it's like he took a route of going to the army, right? But he took a route of going into the army. He took a route of going into the army and doing something different with his life than being subjected to the hood that we grew up in. And that's a key part of why Angel is here, is because he actually made something. He got out. He made something out of nothing. So you alluded to this a little earlier, getting back on track, and I love going on track. So don't ever mind getting on track, talking about this thing. So it just makes the conversation a little bit more genuine. So you alluded to it earlier, you met people with different backgrounds and stuff like that. Did you meet anybody that was similar to you, like similar to your background story, like coming from the hood, transitioning into the army?
It's funny you say that. So when I, even at basic training, you're kind of attracted to like different, like the people that, that you can relate to more. When you're there, everyone's the same, you wear the same color, but like I noticed that like I alluded more to like people from similar places from where I'm from, and there was this one guy named Farley.
Relatable, birds of a feather.
Relatable. Yeah, you got it. It was definitely relatable. So I geared towards more of that type because it was just, familiar to me. Even when I got stationed in South Korea, there was actually some people there that was actually from Jersey City, which is cool.
That's cool.
And I hung out with him, but for the most part, for me it don't matter. If you're from Texas, if you're from the South, from country land, whatever you're from, I can relate to you somehow. You know,
somehow, somewhere. Yeah,
Right.
I think we all got
Possibly
stories
A
that
million.
somehow
even
have
you know it's
similarities.
crazy. Even the Koreans, like I was so drawn. Like Koreans were so drawn to me because they were just like, you know, just wanted to get to know, you know, where I'm from.
Yeah,
and
American
the
way.
things, the
That's
American
because
way,
see, and that's key because I mentioned this last week when
Yeah.
Mark said about the Afghanistans when he was showing them pictures of 9/11 of the Twin Towers, and they had no idea what the Twin Towers was. Like, you guys got to understand, these other countries, and I'm gonna say it last week, I'll say it again, these other countries don't know what happens here. They only know what they're told, just like us. We only know what we're told. So you guys got to keep that in mind. So when he's over in Korea and these people are trying to get to know him, they're trying to get to know real Americans, what real American feels, what their thought process is like, what they like doing, because all they hear is what they hear on TV, just like us. We don't know what real Russia is like unless you go there. You don't know what real China is like unless you go there. So, but how did you imagine military life before going in, and then how did your perception change after coming out? Well, you're not out yet, but after, like, now that you switched your roles in the military, how is your perception now?
So for me, I would say, like, I've been blessed throughout my whole military career. You know, I didn't have to go, you know, see combat. You know, initially when I first got in, I was like, man, I'm gonna go to war. They're gonna hand me a gun and I'm gonna go shoot people. Like, for me, I did not have that experience at all. My 11 years in has been super chill, you know, and I'm grateful for that. You know, would I have wanted to go on to war? You know, I wouldn't mind, you know, but you know, it didn't happen to me, you know. It just wasn't.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you.
So yeah, it's definitely you know, for me, it's like, for me having you know, I would say a chill career, you know, it was just like not initially what I thought, you know. But yeah, it's been a great ride, you know. I got
11 years in.
I got 9 years left. I think right now, I think I'm gonna get out next year. I can't do the full 20. So I think I'm getting out next year. My contract ends next year, so I think I'm getting out. You know, that 2 months from now that could change, you know. But
yeah, because I remember after your first 4 years, you said you were getting out and then you re-enlisted. So
yeah.
So yeah, things can change. Things can change. You might love it again by tomorrow. You might love it again by tomorrow and be like, nah, I'm staying. So let's go on a little funny side just to lighten it up a little bit. Then we're gonna get back to those hard questions.
This episode was sponsored by Cheetos Puff, by the way.
No. Cheetos, I want my check. Cheetos.
It's just in the check.
Yeah, I want my check, Cheetos. Now we're playing. But Cheetos, hit us up, bro.
Oh God.
We will sponsor. All right. But lightening the mood up a little bit. So can you describe to us what is one funny moment you remember from training camp?
Training camp.
Or your time in the Army period. What's the funniest moment you've been a part of or witnessed?
Man, it's a lot. There was this one time at basic training that just popped in my head. It's a little weird story. So, like, during qualifications, you know, we're getting ready to shoot our guns. So what we'll do is we'll take our rifles and we'll put a dime on the muzzle, and then once you pull your trigger, if the dime stays on there, that means you got good trigger squeeze. So we're all laying down, right? We're just shooting, practicing, right? We were shooting at a target, pretend shooting at a target, and there was a little dot. This dude, his name's Frankenberry. RP Frankenberry, he died, by the way. This dude went in front of the whole class. Man, you know what? I'm not even gonna tell a story because it's kind of weird.
All right, so finish up what you were saying. I'm sorry, I had to deal with something real quick.
Man, I'm trying to figure out a funny story that ain't like too rated X, but
yeah, because you tried to tell us a rated X one.
Nah, that was wild.
But yeah.
But man, it's just a lot. I'm trying to think of something that happened in Korea. South Korea was great for me when I was down there. I was supposed.
What was the fashion like? Were you able to get clothes like for cheap out there?
Yeah, you can definitely get, like, they had everything. So like if you want to go shopping, you go down to like Itaewon, Seoul. That's like that's the capital of South Korea.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go down there and do some shopping, do some partying down there. But I was actually supposed to stay 1 year in South Korea. I wound up doing 2 years because I didn't want to come back.
You didn't want to come
I
back.
I was having the time of my life out there.
So let's get into it. Since you can't really think of a funny moment, which is fine. Let's get into your time in South Korea. Explain it to us. Walk us through like start to finish.
I'm about to say it for real. Give us like a day in South Korea, like when you wasn't like on base or anything, you was out able to chill. Like what was it? What was a day in South Korea?
The crazy part for me, like when I first touched down, well, granted, the ride itself is a 15-hour flight just to get to South Korea, and that flight, I had a cultural shock because like they gave you the food from South Korea, and it was like it had tomato paste and green paste, and like the food looked fake. And I tasted, I was like, no, I ain't eating this. I didn't eat anything for that 15-hour flight. And when I got there, I was like, damn, this is it right here. Ain't no turning back, you know.
Right.
The first couple weeks was definitely, you know, that's where you get so much information, you know, from, you know, the people you work with to the ROK Army, so the Republic of Korean Army, we worked with them. They had Katusas there. And it's just like, man, this is it. Because now you're out of basic training, you're out of AIT. There's no one looking over you at all times. Now it's your 9 to 5. And it's like, I'm in a different country. I barely know how to wash my clothes. I don't know how to balance my check. I didn't know anything, but I was working, you know, I was there, you know.
So how did you figure it out though? How did you figure like how to balance, save money and all that stuff out?
Trial and error. I remember the first year I was there, I was 18. So the drinking limit is 16. So I was out, they call it the Ville. This is right outside the gate. It's just a strip of clubs. I was there 5 times a week, just blowing my money, getting drunk all the time, doing
because see, that's important. The reason I asked that, because I knew you was gonna say that.
Yeah,
it's important to understand that you were still a teenager.
I didn't know anything.
You was a teenager. You was free.
No,
it's still important to understand that you were still looking for the fun side of you, trying to keep that guy alive. Yes. That's why you were going out drinking, partying, having fun with
partying, you know? I was just having the time of my life. Just learning about life, you know. And I think from being there, that's why I matured the most, you know, being in South Korea. I did a lot of crazy things, but then, you know,
you figured them out. You figure out the lessons from it.
You know? Trial and error. It's all a learning experience.
So did you meet your wife out in Korea?
When
you got back?
When I left Korea, I got stationed in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
And she was going to school there. My wife's from Alaska. She was going to school there at the time.
You said your lady from Alaska?
Yeah, she's from Alaska.
That's dope.
Yeah, I always find that to be interesting.
Yeah, we go there at least once a year.
That's dope.
Nah, I'm good. I come visit you in Washington State. I ain't going to Alaska.
Hey,
you going out there?
I ain't coming to Alaska.
It's cold in the mug out there, bro. If I want to go out there, bro, it better be in the daytime because I ain't going out there when it's the 30 days a night. I seen the movie. I don't want to know if they got some crazy ass vampires out there. Because I would definitely think that's possible. Vampires running around in Alaska for a whole month. Man, that's like the purge. I'm good. I'm definitely down for the daytime. You know, I'll put on my Tim boots. Be out here.
Summertime, you know? It's crazy. Summertime, there's no nighttime. So it's just daytime the whole day.
Well, you said summertime, there's no nighttime?
There's no nighttime. And then in the wintertime, you get like 2 minutes of sunlight per day. Like it's crazy. And then like it gradually increases throughout the time. Yeah, the first time I went over there to Alaska, it was dead winter. It was like negative 40 degrees, like that.
What?
I walked out the airport, I was choking. Like I choked on the air.
That's what I'm saying. I couldn't do that, bro. I couldn't do that.
No, I'm inaccurate. I'm sorry. I was over here shaking. You go to Alaska,
Yo, for real.
Ain't no shaking, bro. You ain't moving, bro.
It's that miserable.
Your blood frozen. Your blood feel thick. Your blood feel thick.
I would have never got off the plane. As soon as you said
I ain't
you
going
was
to
joking,
Alaska.
I was like, nah, bro.
Look, she didn't even want
I
to be in
changed my
Alaska.
mind about the daytime now. I'm good.
Your
You
wife
choking
didn't
on
even
your
want to be in
own
Alaska.
breath.
She left.
She didn't even warn you. Did she even tell you wasn't gonna be able to breathe as soon as you got there? That the place is that breathtaking.
That climate over there has to be
know.
so much different from anywhere else on Earth.
Yeah, but the
That's
summertime is
crazy.
beautiful though. It's you
The
can
ice,
have a good time in summer.
the sun glistens off the ice.
Mm-hmm.
That is
That's
beautiful.
right.
You
He said
go
it's
out drinking.
glistening.
This happened to us last time. I was there this summer. You go out drinking, the sun don't go down. So it's like 4 or 5 in the morning. Like
Damn, you ain't even know. So you really day
when do I
drinking
turn down
all
and go to
day.
bed?
Man,
Yo, for real, you day drinking all
you
day.
can't
It's like
tell
an
me it's
endless
day
drink.
all the time. Like, yeah, I got 24 hours to get stuff done. Let's do it.
Oh God, for real, right? That's like the illest trick for like hard, like in my line of work, like because I was working concrete. So like you said, it's all day. Like they had to sit there really try to work you all day because like you ain't running out of daylight, so you good. Like they're really trying to keep you out there.
Did you find it easier to stay in contact with your family and friends when you were in South Korea than basic training? Because I know when you're in basic training, you can't really.
The biggest thing for me was the time difference. So like I think I was like 13 hours ahead. So like when I was starting my day, y'all were finishing.
Yeah.
So I think that was the toughest part for me. But other than that, communication was still there. You know, I had what was it, Skype back then.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Everybody made their sacrifices on their end to make sure 13 hours you stay up a little hour longer to talk to Angel. So what else can you tell us about South Korea? What can you tell us about the culture over there?
Man, the food. I learned.
I'm about to say, do they eating frog legs out there?
Let me put this out there real quick because this is like one thing that just like it still mind blows me to this day. So when we go out to the field, like we go deep out in the fields because like we couldn't train nowhere near like the civilian population because about 15, 20 years ago, one of the tanks ran over one of the civilians, so one of the locals. And then from then they were like, y'all can't drive these trucks on the streets and y'all gotta go far out. So when we go far out, it always smelled like super, like so bad, like it just smelled horrible. Like, what's that smell? There's dog farms next to the training sites, and yeah, what I'm about to tell you, this is real. It's called bulgogi. So that's a delicacy out in South Korea. So you got bulgogi, which is beef, then you got bulgogi, which is dog meat. And that's actually a delicacy. That's what they do. They love dog meat. I know.
Nigga.
I had to put it out there. So for those of y'all who
all the people that's skeptical if niggas really be eating dog meat, you got your answer now.
So you said Kogobi.
You got your answer
dog,
now.
Right?
Yeah,
so I gotta think Kobe if I want dog, and then you said bulgogi. Bulgogi is the beef.
Think booger if you want beef.
So for real, booger, for real, Yogi Bear, for real.
Right. But nah, I don't find that to be. Listen, they eat more wild stuff than dog.
I wouldn't. I don't think I could eat dog.
Way more wild stuff than dog.
That's why I said was they eating frog legs.
It's wild to
frog
Americans.
Legs is more wild.
It's wild to Americans
because normal to them though.
Because dogs live in our home.
Yeah.
Fact.
Dogs in countries like that are on the street.
But you just ate my cousin.
Like people don't understand. We have a homeless cat problem. Other countries have wild dog problems. Yep. Regular dogs, like the dogs we have in the house over here, they have those dogs on the street over there terrorizing their kids. So a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't understand that. So they hunt the dogs like they hunt any other animal over there.
Yep.
To them, it's all food.
They're harvesting them. Got dog farms up there. And
now they got safe dog meat. Because now they don't have to eat the wild dogs out in the street that have rabies. Because most dogs in these countries have rabies.
That's true though. Because when I moved out here to Iowa, Justin was like, "Nah, bro, niggas ain't having no deer." He thought that shit. He think that shit wild.
Because deer is a sketchy meat. Like you can, deer meat is good. I hear a lot of people say
It
that.
is.
But
it's a bomb.
if you're not careful, where you get your deer meat from, I used to work in a butcher shop. I used to work as a meat
down to
so if you don't know where you're getting your
meat,
beef, your deer from, bro, it can kill you. It can make you sick.
Well, I know just because my lady brother, he hunt that joint, so it's coming straight out the wild. It's free range out this motherfucker.
You gotta
in Louisiana, they eat raccoon and squirrel.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Louisiana, that's down south, bro.
So what's the most wildest food you ate, Mr. Traveling Man? What's the most wildest food you ate? Wildest. We talking wild now.
I ate some gator in Texas.
Gator.
I ate gator. I tried that before.
Gator is pretty good. I like gator meat.
The gator not bad. I heard
that ain't bad.
Then in Korea, I ate some. I didn't eat dog. At least I don't think I ate dog.
He said I might have been sick one time and then said could go.
I ate frog legs out there. I ate lamb.
Lamb is good.
Lamb is pretty good.
But them frog legs though, did it really taste like chicken?
Nah, that's pretty good. Frog legs.
That's good.
I can imagine.
You put some A1 on that bad boy.
It's fried. We turned into a cooking podcast.
Oh God!
Talking about.
Oh man. What did you do out in Korea besides partying for fun? Like what did they have out there to do for you? Like I'm trying to understand what the culture is like. Like what did they do out there for fun? Like what is their life like?
Out there, you got a lot of villages you can go to. In Korea, like when you're stuck on the base, that's literally for the most part all you're really gonna do. You're gonna go. There's other things you can do, but for the most part, the normal average soldier is probably gonna drink his whole year away there. Just drink, have fun, party, do some sightseeing. You can go to the capital. You can do some. They have like Latte World, which is like our version of like Disney or something like that, but it's all inside. There's things to do, but like for the most part.
Yeah, I thought you was talking coffee.
Right, you said Latte World. I'm like, damn, it's coffee heaven right there. Walking there, getting on a coffee slide.
The competition.
Now I'm trying to think because I know like with the culture shock that you experienced going to Korea, like there had to be a lot that you took away from it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I would say, there was certain things that, I seen culturally. It's like, what's acceptable in America, that's acceptable there. And I'll give an example, like straight men can walk down the street with a purse and hold hands and it's okay, but if we in the hood and we see that, oh, he gay this, he gay that, but that's not the truth, it's that's how
coming from example.
I had a little disclosure. Little disclosure. Me and the guy right next to me, we held hands in New York and walked down the block.
Really?
Yeah, bro, we didn't care.
Yeah, I ain't gonna deny it.
Yeah, bro. Me and T used to do stuff on purpose just to see how people would react. Especially in New York, because you got so many different people in New York that believe and think different ways that you wanna get to see how they think. So we did stuff.
It was funny too.
Like Charlie Murphy said, we did stuff.
Like the joke. Like, yo, you trying to hold my hand? It's like, yeah, maybe I am. It was like, bring it.
People were just looking at us like we didn't care, bro. Dying laughing. But no, and that's important that you said. And the reason why I said disclosure is because you are right. Like I said, people was looking at us weird, but over there it's accepted. Like nobody really looks at it a different way. But what other things over there that were kind of similar to American, or was there any other things?
Did they have any sneakerheads over there?
Yeah, there was. At the time too, I was buying a lot of junk, buying a lot of shoes, buying a lot of clothes, doing all that stuff. But yeah, there was definitely Koreans. They love fashion. They are.
That's why I asked. That's why I've been asking fashion questions, because I do know that about just not even Koreans, just Asian.
I remember
in general.
Like, I used to have like all my snapbacks on the wall. I used to wear skinny jeans, Jordans, all that stuff.
I remember the snapbacks too. You the one that put me on the zip back snapback, because I have one. I got them from Dr. J's. I copped the Chicago Bulls one, and my stepbrother wore it out the crib one time, and I never saw it again.
You never saw it?
That ass, yo.
But yeah,
zip back
I was
down,
into that
true.
stuff too, and I remember the Koreans used to come in my room like, "Yo, can I borrow your hat and some shoes and some?" I'm like, "Yo, take whatever y'all want," and then they'll go
Right.
out with us. But yeah, fashion is definitely a big thing out there. They had H&M. I love H&M. I can't fit H&M no more, but I used to.
Nah, bro,
Hate
me
that
either,
store.
man.
I
He
cannot.
never
fit
liked
I
H&M,
can't
bro.
fit that no
I
more.
remember a girl I was dating bought me an H&M shirt. Wore it once, bro.
once.
I couldn't wait to
I
burn
used to
that
stay
thing.
up at H&M. I used
I
to stay up
couldn't
in
wait to
that
burn
bad
that
boy.
thing. Shopping no H&M.
When I was modeling and I was lanky and I was more trim,
Just some clothes you don't need to try on. H&M is one of them.
Nah.
H&M is
I wouldn't try it on no more, but back then I used to do it. Back in my 2012 days, 2013
worst clothes
days.
store ever, in my opinion.
It's not the worst clothing store ever. It's a fashionable come up store. That's how I look at it. If you try and be fashionable, they have.
If you want the beach look all year round, you go to H&M and give you the beach
look.
look.
You said the beach look, yeah.
So let me ask Angel, what was one thing that you missed about civilian life, like being over in South Korea?
What I missed?
Like, I'll give you an example. Mark, last week, Mark was like, excuse me. Mark was like, it was like little things like opening the refrigerator and getting yourself something to drink.
While you're at basic training, like when you're in basic training, you take the littlest things, like being able to open your phone when you want to, being able to call your mom whenever you want to, being able to, cook yourself a meal whenever you want to. Like, you lose all of that. So like, this craziest thing, like just being able to go downstairs and do laundry by myself is just amazing. Because at some time you cannot do anything without a drill sergeant there or someone watching you. And like towards the end, when you graduate, they start giving you your privileges back. Here's your phone, here's your camera, here's your MP3 player. A little side thing too, and this is during basic training, I actually had my MP3 player the whole time, and we had a cell phone that we hid, but the MP3 player only had 2 songs on it, and it was Jay-Z, Forever Young, and Maxwell, Pretty Young. Where was it? Pretty Wings. Pretty Wings.
Oh my God!
When you said Maxwell, Pretty, I was like Pretty Wings.
I don't mind. I wouldn't mind
two
listening
good
to
songs,
Maxwell,
though.
Pretty Wings.
I'm not going for y'all that got tired of me.
Jay-Z
Forever
Young.
The shit out that song.
After like the 5th time of Forever Young, I would have got over it. Forever Young, I would have never played it again.
Back and like I feel like a song like that, Forever Young, that's motivation. That's motivation when you're in basic training. That eyes, yo. Like when you really listen to that track by Jay-Z, for real, yo. That's
no, don't get me wrong. I like the song.
That's that track.
That's on my playlist.
Some days I'll wake up some days and I'll be like, yo, what the fuck did I get myself into? Like, why am I here right now? And then like I'll pop them headphones in, listen to Jay-Z, or just try to motivate myself. But there was like first 2 weeks, like especially out doing PT, because you lay in the grass while you're working out, and I was just staring up to the sky, man. I was like, I just gave up my whole freedom for this, When you graduate, it's like, man, that was worth it, I'll do it.
When you graduate, you still playing forever. Pointing at everybody like, I wanna be forever.
And then we also had our cell phone. We kept it under what was it? One of those cones, those street cones. We kept it under the street cones, and then
I don't blame you though.
You messed it up for everybody now. You messed it up for everybody else. Now they're gonna start checking all the phones.
Now they get their phone all the time. And apparently, it's
look, when you say it's like prison, that's stuff prison mates do, right?
Oh God, for real.
That's what
I thought you was gonna say they hit it in the floor or something like that, but that's just as good.
That is what.
And they were doing some crazy stuff. Like this one dude, he was a smoker. And, when you're in basic training, you can't smoke. So what he would do, he would go to the cooks and be like, yo, let me get a cigarette. The cooks would give him a cigarette, and then the dude would save the matches from that. So every MRE has a match in it. So like when you're out in the field, you can burn it, so you don't leave your traces behind.
Yeah, you're saying, yeah.
So you burn your food. So he'll take the matches from there and then go to the cooks, get a cigarette from there. Then he'll go to the laundry room and smoke a cigarette. Like people got creative with things, they were just getting it how they wanted,
Yeah, it sounds a lot like prison. The people do creative things in prison too.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, but no, it's all for discipline though. So I mean, I understand it. It's all to make sure that your mind is disciplined and you are disciplined in your actions. Because when you get out there and you if you do eventually like ever have to go to war, they need to know they could count on you, bro. Like you are just a number, but they need to make sure they could count on that number that you.
They need to make sure that number is there.
So tell us the story of how you met your wife.
My good friend, actually one of my best friends from the military. Actually, me and him got stationed in North Carolina together, and then Ardberg too. He from Jersey City. That's the one I met in South Korea. But we all got stationed down there, and one of my good friends went to school with my wife. And one night he was just like, "Hey, come over," because he was married at the time too. He was like, "Hey, come over. There's someone gonna be here." So I went over, and then from there I just knew it was it. I met her. We talked, whatever. We clicked. Everything went well, and then she wound up getting married.
What was your first impression of her?
Damn, she
yeah, I was like, damn. She's probably gonna see this, but like I was like, damn. I just knew, like people say, like you just knew, like I just knew at that moment. I was like, yeah, this one, she is.
But how did you know she was the right one? What was the tell? What was the tell that she was the right one? There had to be something that clicked. And what was it?
Like when you can look at someone and you can see yourself 10, 15, 20 years down the road, and like I just knew, like I never felt that way with anyone else, It was just like I had girls,
He got me feeling all warm and fuzzy and shit.
Well, you
had
just
to go downstairs and kiss my girl. Like,
That's
baby,
right.
I love you.
But, and we've been married 8 years.
Shout out to Angel's wife, man.
Yeah, married 8 years. September 15th, we made 8 years, and
word, congrats! It's coming up. Wait, no, it passed, didn't it?
Yeah, it just passed.
Word, happy anniversary.
So we got married on Emily's birthday. My little sister, her birthday is September 15th. We got married on her birthday, but
I wasn't invited, but it's all right. I understand. I was left out.
Yeah, we ain't do nothing too crazy. We got married in North Carolina, and then we had our first daughter in North Carolina.
I'm gonna have a wedding, and I'm gonna send everybody the invitations after the wedding is over.
Yeah.
That's my plan.
D Jackson, it ain't gonna matter though. I already know I'm gonna be there. So
D Jackson had like some I think his like pre-wedding thing, whatever it was, and he sent me it 2 days before the actual ceremony.
No, I'm literally not playing. I'm literally gonna have the wedding and then send out the invitations with the day I got married on it. I'm not playing. I'm not playing. Yeah. Nobody want to invite me to their stuff. Well, guess what? You're gonna get an invitation a week late. All right, they're gonna look at the date like, wait, this passed already. Did he get married?
And it's gonna have a USB with all the photos.
Yes, I did. Everybody get one different picture. Everybody get one picture is different.
And I'm gonna be in all of them because I'm gonna be there.
But you mentioned you got 2 kids. I have had the pleasure of meeting your two beautiful daughters. So what do
you part of the doubled up club too?
Yeah, he got
out here.
No, he not. Well, yeah, he doubled up, but he got 2 girls.
Up, but he ain't got the best of both worlds.
He ain't got the boy girl.
That's what I call that. He just got 2 girls.
Yeah, got the boy girl.
Me and Justin got the best of both worlds.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday.
I was like, I wanted that boy, but
after the second one, you gotta be like, nah, I'm good.
Because I'm gonna have a third girl. Then I'm gonna be like, no, I'm gonna try for it. Then I'm gonna have a
fourth girl.
I got and literally I know some people that went through that. They're pregnant now with their boy, but that's serious. They went through that same thing. They had got 2 girls, and they sitting there like, dang. Fast. They sitting there like, dang, yo, if we have a girl this 3rd time, he was joking like, yo, I'm gonna push you down the stairs, and she was like, I might go down willingly. Because they both was like, yo, we don't want a 3rd girl, but God willing, they got that boy. So I feel nobody fell down the stairs.
He gonna get older and have all older sisters like.
But luckily though, that he will have an older brother, so it will be cool because she did have a boy before him.
So she had a boy, she had a girl, probably a girl, boy, girl, boy.
No, it was boy because like she was with somebody else. So boy, okay. And then the person she's with now, girl, now boy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, kind of, it works out like that sometimes. But with your children, with your 2 daughters, what do you want them to know about the military? Like, what do you tell them? Like, do you tell them anything about the military? Do you have those conversations? I know they're young. Do you understand your job or anything like that?
Not really. Now that was a big part of why I left active duty. Being married, having kids is like, you need more flexibility. When you're in the military, you work from 6 a.m. to whenever they want to leave. And it's like, okay, I need more time with my kids, my family, I left active duty. They don't know too much about it. They know sometimes daddy puts on his uniform and then he shaves his beard, but that's all they really know. That's about it.
So do you feel like you keep it that way for like their like their mindset and stuff like that, so they don't have to grow up faster knowing things about things around them or the world around them? Because when in my opinion, like if I'm telling my kid about what I'm doing in the army or about the army, that's a big aspect in life of wars and protecting here home that you will have to also explain them. So when you say you don't explain them to them, I actually agree with that. I don't think parents should, but I do know some parents that are in the military that do explain it to their young kids, 3-4-year-old kids.
I will say sometimes, and like I know sometimes I gotta like chill out, but like that discipline, that structure, I try to kind of put it on them. Not to where it's overbearing for them, but I see for me how structure and discipline works, and that's like the only thing that I let out to them. But like other than that, it's
you try to keep it about that, which I agree with. I think like in a job like the military, your kids shouldn't be exposed to that. Like just like people that work for the CIA or FBI, their kids, they don't expose their kids. And I think the Army is the same way, because it's a big aspect in life. Wars, people die, and if you tell your kids that and they go to school one day or they're around somebody one day that knows a little bit more about it and like, yeah, people in the Army kill people, and then they're like, my dad's in the Army, and it's like, oh shit, my dad kills people. So it like it could mess up their minds. And I have seen it done. That's why I asked the question, because there are people out here that do try to explain to their kids so they're aware of what their father do, the dangers of their job, and not just people that's in the Army, people that's cops, firefighters, stuff like that. So I think we do need to keep a shield on them from some things when they're young. And I think we're getting into a world now where, and this is another reason why I asked, we're getting into a world now where people just want to throw everything on 4-year-old kids and like they can handle it, and they can't.
So with our kids right now, we homeschool them from the jump, and it might sound weird to some, but like my wife's been teaching them at home. Now they're finally into a school right now. It's called Summit Academy, but it's virtual. So they have like their little stations, and we get to monitor what
they're being taught. See, and that's a good question, because if you go back to our second episode, I said something to the guest that we had on, my boy E, was I get a say in what my child is taught. And I think every parent should feel that way. I don't think no parent should just put their child in the hands of a school and be like, your curriculum is great. No, we need to monitor what our kids are being taught.
Absolutely. And from here's my take on education real quick. It's definitely necessary. Absolutely.
Certain things though.
Yeah, certain things. And I can tell you, like, they purposely keep you away from, they keep the curriculum away from actual things that will benefit you. Like, what I mean by that is, like, when I was coming up in school, they didn't teach you about a credit score. They didn't teach you about financial literacy. They don't want you to, because they want you to be a slave. They want you to be a slave to your debt. They want you to be a slave to, they don't want you to be financially smart. So they purposely keep that away from you. Why can't you put that in the curriculum? Why do I need to know what y equals mx plus b?
That's true. And I love math.
Show me why I need to build FICO score. Show me some financial literacy.
See, and I agree, because I don't think everything you learn in school is going to, it fits everybody. Like math, like some people can go far in math, geometry, and they can go far and understand that stuff. They have a mind that they can go into that to a line of work that actually needs that type of understanding. But most people that go to school, we all get taught the same thing. Most of us would never use it. And I love math. I love math, but most of us would never use half. I don't even use half the stuff that I know for math. I don't use it. So I always said that, like, yo, we need a curriculum that's going to show our kids how to live life, because we don't want them to grow up fast, but we do need to show them that life isn't going to be and treat you like parents treat you. for parents that actually baby their kids and, you know, don't teach their kid real valuable lessons, life ain't going to do that for you. Life is going to kick you in your ass and then kick you in your ass again while you're still getting up from the first ass kicking. All right. So we don't teach our kids that. We don't teach them valuable lessons of right and wrong. Of if you do this outside of my house, this is the consequence of it. I literally had to go outside and steal something and then find out the consequences of it to understand what I was doing. I don't want that for my kids. I don't want my kids to hang around people. And my son kind of gets that now. He's like, no, if that kid's doing that, I'm not hanging around. I know what they're doing that for. He understands it. Like he understands, like, no, that's not good behavior. I don't want to be around that. If you need your kid to understand that, because a lot of our black kids, a lot of our black and immigrant kids, they fall into the streets so easy. And it doesn't matter sometimes what we're teaching them at home, because a lot of times, especially in the black neighborhoods where all of us come from, it's fathers are at work working 2-3 jobs and the mother's at home spending all the money. That's the environment we come from. That's the environment. Andrew, Haiti worked all her life though. See, that's the one thing I can say about your mom. Your mom still worked. Like your mom worked her ass off all her life for as long as I knew you guys. Like we didn't have that in my house. Like my mom wasn't around. My father didn't have a job. My grandmother gave up her job to take care of us. Like so for us, those was the dynamic of the families around us. And for us, we just want to make it better.
I wasn't on punishment because of my report card, I was free down the street with Justin. My pops was working.
That's what I'm saying. T, you really never had a parent home. Your father had to go out and work. And that's an important aspect. And that's the reason why I bring your children up and being in the Army, because how do you find the time to, like you said, be able to be there for them, understand what they're learning, understand who they are? Because I think a big factor in us raising our kids is we don't get, and I said this in a dad group on Facebook, we don't get to know our kids on a deeper level than just what's on the surface or what they tell us or how they act. We don't sit down and talk to them. I sit down and talk to my daughter, even if she's saying nothing. I literally sit down and talk to her so I can understand what she likes, what she's into, what she doesn't, what she's not into. She tells me things. Like she literally opens up and tells me things when I talk to her, and she's only 3. So more parents need to take that approach of like, yo, getting to know our kids on a deeper level, getting to know their mentality, the way they think about things, how they feel about things. Because then we don't, it's not about shaping, it's about teaching. And we don't teach enough, especially in Black communities or in communities like this, where it's Hispanic, Black, and you know, some other races, but dominantly Hispanic and Black is the community we live in. And we don't see our parents spending enough time in the home teaching us. They rely on everybody else around us. And that's why I said this, one of the things this podcast is about is bringing the community back to the aspect of community, because our parents in our time could get away with that. They could get away with going out and working 2 jobs, because if we did something and one of our neighbors seen it, they were going to fuck us up. Like,
it's kind of crazy. Like for
now it's like, don't touch my kid. What you yelling at my kid for? Like there's no community aspect no more. Like back in the day, literally, we was acting up, somebody would drag us down the street to our parents, bro. And our parents will be thankful because they understood that I'm busy trying to make a life for them. I'm busy trying to keep this roof over their head and keep the bills paid. I can't watch them all the time. And that's the same thing that's happening now. It's the same thing, but it's like younger people are having kids. They don't understand what having a kid is. They don't know what it's like to take care of a kid. They don't know what it means to take care of a kid. They think just putting good looking clothes and name brand sneakers on their kid and bringing them outside around all their drug dealer friends and all their holy friends, that's the way of life. And then their kid turn out a gangster, or their daughter turns out to put her body everywhere, to say it in a nice way. And then they look at it, oh, why you turned out this way? It's because of you. It's what you show them. We are an image of them. They seek us. I say things and my daughter repeats them. That should tell you they look up to us. And a lot of us as parents don't understand that. We don't understand how much influence we have on our children. And for you mothers out here that want to twerk all over your kids and have your kids twerking, you think that's good? That's going to reflect when they're a teenager. You think you can stop it? Guess what? It's too late. And that's my problem. And that's why I said we need that community factor, because if my sister was caught down the street twerking, neighbor would have grabbed her ass by her ear, smacked her ass up, brung out the block to my father, and my father would have beat her ass. My brother was around the corner fighting. Nigga punched my brother in his eye, shut his eye, walked that nigga right around the corner to my father. Like, that's the community we grow up in. Like, and you guys want to change it. A lot of you guys want to change it. And it's like, you changing it is making it worse for the next generation. You changing it is making it worse for them. because now we can't even give them. And I get it. Like me and Andrew talked about that too, like with the beating. No, you can pop your kids. You can hit your kid. Like my son, I smack him in the back of the neck or back of his head. My daughter, I'll pop her hand or I'll slap her on the butt. But like objects, like we don't need to be doing that no more. That's in the 90s, lead them shits back then. We need to find a better way of teaching our kids. And that's why I keep going back to the teaching.
No more Sega remotes, Justin.
No Sega remotes, no hangers, no extension cords, no twitches, no witches.
No mongoose bikes. I remember I got beat with a mongoose bikes with pegs.
Remember that?
Had pegs on it.
Yeah, our parents was wow. And like I said, I said it in the dad group. I said it to Angel last night. Our parents had problems with anger, bro. Because when they beat us out of anger, bro. It was never to teach us. It was always out of anger.
Me and Justin spoke about it yesterday. We were like, you know, a lot of our parents, they suffered, you know. It's a lineage of suffering. So like my dad suffered. His dad suffered. And it goes all the way down. That's why they deal with the depression. That's what they deal with. They go to drugs, whether it's alcohol or whatever the case may be. And they just continue the pattern. But then at some point, you gotta be like, you know what? I'm gonna be the one to break that pattern. You know, I'm not gonna allow that to happen no more. You know.
Yeah, that's why I calm myself down when it comes to disciplining my son, because I've talked to Justin about that before. And I said that to even my lady, because she helps me with checking myself too. Because I'm a big dude, I'm strong. And then my son, even though he's big for his age, I still can't be swinging at him. I told him a couple of times, because like he don't listen. And at the same time, like how Justin was saying before, we gotta understand our kids, and like we can't rush them to like doing stuff at our own pace because we're older. They're small. They're still enjoying life because they're still discovering things. They don't, you know. Like literally, it is frustrating for me to get my son to go to potty, but when he goes on the potty, it's worth it. Like one time, I told him, like he was like, "All right, I don't have to go potty." I'm like, "Just go potty. You'll never know what happens." So he got on the EP, and I was like, "You got to poop? Just go like this, and like just grunt and to poop." And then literally he was like, and then you heard it drop into the toilet like bloop bloop bloop. I was like, "Yeah, we did it!" Like I was so happy, you know. So it's like those moments like, you get frustrated a lot, but it pays for it. It pays off for real. And that's why I was just like those moments like that. It's like, all right, I gotta take my time, you know. And you really gotta like pace yourself. You do.
A lot of these people out here are not ready to be parents, or it's not even. See, I hate when people say, "Oh, I'm not ready to be a parent." Do you think most people that had kids are ready to be a parent? No, they
even
weren't.
the people that plan to have kids.
No, they weren't.
Still ain't ready.
Stop saying
they prepare themselves and they still get cold feet.
It has nothing to do with being ready. It has everything to do with the sacrifice. Everything to do. We all can make sacrifice. Just sacrifice to raise your kid, bro.
Mindset too, you know. You gotta be, you know, you're not gonna be ready, but you gotta be ready to handle shit when it comes down, you know, and learn. You know, you're not gonna be perfect, but as long as you're willing to learn and
fix
learn
your
from your
mistakes,
mistakes, that's it. That's all you really need. You know,
kids are innocent, bro. They don't control being brought into the world. The two people that have sex did. So do your part to take care of them and make sure they grow up and be a good member of society, not a bad member, a good member of society. Because we don't have that either. We don't have, and it goes back to teachings. Guys gonna hear me preach this a lot on this podcast. Teachings and lessons that we give our kids, bro. Because I know from my experience, and you're going to get to know it along episodes. I'll reveal things, you know, as we talk more. But it's like over my experience of being a child, bro, I went through a lot. And one of the things I always wanted as a child was love. And that's one of the things I always wanted was just to feel, not be told. I wanted to feel like I was loved. And I know my daughter feels love. I know it because I know that is one big thing for me that I needed, and I'm going to give it to her right off the bat. So she doesn't experience the things I went through. And now I can teach her love around it. I can teach her things around that love, how to love, the differences of love, how to be right in love, what is wrong in love. Because like Andrew said, we all make mistakes. We all need to grow. We all need to learn. But we are the key to our children's success. And I don't mean that is in the sense of I want my son to be a basketball player, so I'm going to train him as hard. No. What I mean is teach him. I'll tell you this. My uncle said something to me. He said, men can just live their life off of two things. If you take everything else away from them, men can live their life by two things: right and wrong. He is 100% true. He is 100% right in that. We could take everything away from us, and we would still live our lives in a full extent by right and wrong. We need everybody to understand that. We need everybody to be on that page, women and everything, young women and everything. If you understand what's right and wrong, and you just do right, you will get to the places that you want to be. But a lot of people, especially here in the hood, it's like, I was just talking to Angel about this yesterday, like, we don't have our young kids being scouted to go to big colleges and play basketball or play football. You know, Angel just pointed out
Not
to me,
unless they, like you said, they got those parents that birth, like as soon as they come out the womb, give them a basketball. That's the only way.
That's true, but most of those guys too in Jersey City end up falling to the streets. Like,
you're right.
If we're being
you are
honest,
not wrong. My best friend, one of my other best friends that I grew up with, Gregory Edie, in jail right now because he got caught up in the streets and ended up catching a body. Now he doing life. And he was a child football star.
Yes,
he was a child football star. Played for Jersey City Recreation and everything. Was known.
So much talent
in newspapers and all that shit.
So
then he in the newspaper for catching a body.
But all of our black
now
men
he locked up.
Waste their talent because they get caught up in the streets. And it's not just here.
That's not even the black men. It's the Spanish cats too.
But
it's everybody.
You guys know what I mean.
Your hood catch you, bro.
The hood.
Your hood catch
the people in the hood. Because I didn't see so many people that had skill, including myself. Me and Andrew touched on this last night. Like, I had skill in basketball. I just didn't know what fundamentals was. I didn't know all of the ins and outs of ball, but I had skill. I knew how to put the ball in the basket, and I knew how to play defense. And I was very good at it. But like I told Angel, we didn't have teachers there. We didn't have nobody to show us how to take it further. We didn't have programs to take it further. I even told Angel this. A lot of people from Jersey City know this. We had a gym teacher who used to play for the New York Knicks. You think he had any programs in place to teach us ball? No, he didn't. But I can clearly remember him.
School every day in his Escalade, late as hell.
I can clearly remember him getting all the girls in the gym class together and teaching them how to shoot.
Yeah.
So this is my problem. I say that to say my problem is when somebody does make it out, they never come back and give back to here. Like, and it's very few that do. Like, we just had a football player. What was his name, Andrew? You said
Frank Darby.
Yeah, Frank Darby that just made it to the NFL.
Falcons. He plays for Falcons right now.
He played for the Falcons right now. So shout out Frank Darby. Shout out. Tell him we said shout out. Tell him we glad that somebody got out this month. Gonna do something. But no, it's a real struggle, man. You don't know how many people I've come across in my basketball in my younger years that I met a dude that came from overseas. His name was Jamal. Shout out Jamal. He was nasty, bro. Nasty. He came over here to try to make it to the league, and it didn't work out for him. So he went back overseas and started playing overseas ball again. And from there, I don't know what happened to him. Anyway. I had another dude named Tim. Shout out Tim. Nasty. Tim was nasty.
Oh, Tim.
But see, Tim didn't fall to the streets. Tim fucked his knee up.
Tim kept that grind, but he's still out here balling.
He wasn't the same. Nah, he down south now. Tim don't bowl no more. If he ball, it's not serious like he used to. But Tim literally twisted his knee in front of me, and that was it for him. And that's like, that was on his way of grinding to try to get to the NBA, bro. So we have people.
That damn Arlington Park and that dip right under the damn rim.
I know. I remember it was this dude from Ferris. I don't know where this guy is, but it was this dude from Ferris. Dude could shoot the ball like Steph Curry, bro. And I'm not even lying. Like, nigga could shoot the ball like Steph Curry. Where is he? What college did he go to?
So where in the world is Carmen San Diego?
That's my point. I want to see more Black and Hispanic people in the hood, come out of here and do something with their lives. Like, I want to see us in sports. I want to see us on big stages. I want to see one of us get in the boxing ring and be the best fighter of all time and oversee Mayweather. But we don't have that here. We have all these Black kids and Hispanic kids and, some white kids, because you do have, them mixed in that's in poverty. None of us make it out. Not even the white kids. None of us make it out. Too. None of us make it out.
That's why I say everybody.
And that's
like
crazy.
I said, the hood catch your ass.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because even out here, I had to say that to like my lady's family too. Because like how we could spot crackheads so easily out in Jersey, they spot meth heads, and I don't be knowing because I'm not exposed.
Yeah, it's a different type of drug.
To meth heads. That's the whole state of facts. That's like what I learned out here. That you can't buy too many cans of brake fluid or starter fluid out here. Like that's serious. I think the max one person can buy is like 2 to 3. Because if you start getting 4 and 5, you'll get flagged and won't even make it 2 blocks away from the store by the police because that's something that people use in order to make meth. And I wouldn't even think to know
Right
that.
through it. Damn.
Yes, yo. It's ether in there. It's ether in there. And that's what they use in order to make that. Like that's serious. What I've learned about meth, like yo, when people have meth labs that's in their homes, that's serious, yo. That shit is in the fucking experiment lab. Like it's heat bubbles and shit going through. Yeah, yo, that's it. Them shits really do blow up. Like if you got the wrong drop, like I'm not even gonna lie to you, there's a couple of times where I have felt big ass booms. Like while I've been walking down the street before I started driving, I'll be walking. I'll text my girl sometimes like, yo, did you hear that boom? And she was like, it was probably a meth lab that blown up. I was like, you probably not joking. And a couple of days later, one time I said that to somebody, shit blown up. Like somebody shit didn't blow up.
Real,
I was like,
bro.
damn.
But that's like, just to say, like when you go to different places, you see different things, bro. And it's like,
it's true.
No matter where you go, bro, there's always a place like here. There's always a place like here. And I'm not even just doing this for us here in Jersey City. I am because I'm here in Jersey City. But I'm doing it for everybody that's in a place like this. Everybody that's in a place like this that want to find a way out. Like we need help. Like them young black kids, them young Hispanic kids, them young white kids that's in the hood that's not succeeding like that. They need help. They need help to get out of here and be something in life. And we have to understand that not all of them have the guidance at home that they need, because I didn't have it. I should have ended up in the street with a gang and dead, but that wasn't my life. It turned me off. Like being in the street, seeing people hang out on the corner all day, that shit turned me off. Like it was like, what am I? I'm gonna stand. Like to this day, like you gotta ask my girl, bro, I don't stand on the corner for more than 2 minutes. I would literally walk. I would literally pace up and down a block. Why? If I'm waiting for somebody, I don't like standing in one spot. But it's because I live in the hood, and when you stand in one spot, it's either somebody gonna come up to you, asking you if you got drugs, or the cops gonna come action you, pulling you over and searching you and see if you have drugs. So I don't like corners. So, but I know if I was to go to Detroit, that same thing would apply to me. I wouldn't be standing on the corner, because another thing is standing on the corner where I'm from is dangerous. You don't know who wants to kill the next young black kid that's standing next to you, and they don't know how to aim out here. These kids don't go to the shooting range and perfect their craft. Like,
did you have to worry about that in South Korea?
It's illegal to own a gun in South Korea.
Yeah, this country's like that.
Well, you cannot own a gun unless you're law enforcement.
So what about Alaska? Since you spend time out there,
everybody got a gun in Alaska. You got to shoot bears, caribou.
Yeah, you got mountain lions.
Mountain lions.
I'm having me 3 guns. I'm gonna empty all of them on them damn.
I ain't gonna front. I would too. And all my shits, I had a thermal scope.
Can you imagine you got caught?
Call of Duty.
Can you imagine you got caught between a mountain lion and a polar bear with no gun?
I'm gonna just piss myself.
You might as well just start kicking the ice under you, nigga, and hope to fall in and freeze to death. That's gonna be a painful death.
Either that, or I hope they fight each other. Then I could run away.
Nah, they're gonna chase you, bro.
Thing I'm gonna pray for.
Polar bear definitely.
They gotta fight over. They gotta fight to see who get me first. I'm the prize.
Polar bear definitely gonna chase you, bro. That cat might get
crazy.
You.
And this might sound stupid. I went to Alaska this summer, right? And we went to Denali Park. And
he went to the cold during the heat.
I ordered a pizza, and they were like, "Hey, I got a meat lovers," and they were like, "Well, you want to add reindeer meat to the pizza?" And I was like, "Reindeer meat? Like for real reindeer?" I thought it was just fake, whatever. They were like, "Okay." So they gave me the pizza, and they had reindeer meat on it. I was like, I thought reindeers were fake. Like we talking about Rudolph and all that. I was like, "No,
it's
real." So they took me to the North Pole the next day, and I saw reindeer. Like it's crazy. I thought they were made up.
Nah, reindeers are real animals.
That's all.
Real. Yeah, they're real.
Yeah. I've taken my son to see some out here actually, because they have like little tours and shit. Like when it starts to get cold for like Christmas and shit like that.
Yeah, they'll bring them down. They'll transport them down and stuff.
They do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's always cool.
But you had to taste though. How'd that taste? When we bring up wild food, you gonna wait till now to bring up that you have reindeer
wild though. It's not.
And on top of that,
he said it's not wild. They caught him. It's not wild.
It was good. It was some good stuff. It's crazy because I'm vegetarian now. I don't eat meat no more. But my wife's been a vegetarian.
So if I wave bacon in front of you, you gonna fold or no?
Yesterday I cooked steak and chicken wings, and I didn't eat none of it. I had Impossible meat, so that's like that fake plant-based meat. I had Impossible meat, but nah, I can't.
You be out here having mushroom burgers and shit.
Mushroom burgers, all that stuff. Yeah, I'm on the meatless.
So how was that transition
We
from
none of
you?
that.
Because I know that's hard for you being a Hispanic man. Because I know your mom be cooking all that good shit, especially
For
that
real.
pork. That's what I'm saying. How
Uh,
could that must have been hard. I know
so
it.
last year,
I can't do that shit.
from January 1st to September, I went vegan, like straight vegan, no animal products. And like during that time, I was in the best shape of my life. Mentally, I was mentally sharp. I was light on my feet. I can work all day and like come home and do some more work. Like I just had limitless energy.
I know a vegan that would tell you different. She's been a vegan for 20 years.
Really?
Yeah, she'll tell you different.
Right. She
was doing it right, nigga. Her body is fucked up now.
To get into that real quick, like the scientific part of it, you can look at I think what got me was Game Changers on Netflix. You seen that?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so Game Changers sponsored by Arnold Schwarzenegger, by the way. And this is the guy that tells you, hey, you got to eat your protein, you got to get your steaks, you got to get your meats.
I follow Arnold.
No, see, Arnold
because I be on my fitness.
Arnold not stupid.
Arnold's a smart man.
That's a business
he really
move.
is. He is a smart man.
So we got to think about like this too. Genetically, we're not meant to, and I do believe in this. I love my steaks and I love my chicken, but I think
but we're not.
We're not meant.
I agree with that
right?
too.
If you look at your teeth, they're not shaped to be chewing meat. You look at your eyes, right? A lot of animals can't see color. Why are humans able to see color? Because we have to pick the fruits and the vegetables, and we have to see the color, how ripe it is, and all that stuff. Then you look at our intestines.
So why in the biblical days did people sacrifice goat to God?
I don't know. Now we getting religious. We talking about religion.
I'm just throwing it out there, bro. I'm just throwing it out there.
No, that's a great point. But like,
they sacrificed the goat to God, and they didn't leave the goat there, bro. They ate that damn goat. They ate that damn goat. Bro.
Then you look at our intestines. We have long intestines because we, take time to process our food.
Yeah.
We look at lions and wolves. They got short intestines because they're eating that and they getting rid of it right away.
Yeah, right away.
So genetically, like we kind of, are meant to be vegetarians. Look at the strongest vegetarian on the planet right now. Look at the gorilla. For the most part, all he eats vegetables. This dude's massive and strong. He got muscle. And what they
I think I did read about that dude that you're talking about too, because he is a strong man that's a vegetarian. That dude's swole.
Exactly. What? A few other quick facts, real quick. Tennessee Titans, 13 players went vegan. They went to the playoffs that year. That strong man, he went vegan. Strong. He's massive. What they found was that protein you're actually getting from that meat is actually from the cow eating the protein from the plants. So that's where you get most of your protein from. There's a lot of scientific things that goes into it.
It's interesting.
And that's why a lot of bodybuilders are starting to convert to plant-based proteins too.
See, that I don't mind. I don't mind going plant-based. So I'm not gonna go vegan or vegetarian. Like I don't eat much beef and I don't eat much pork anymore. My intestine, my system down here, it ain't working, bro. So I don't eat much of it anymore. The only thing I eat is fish and chicken. That's the most I eat, and a lot of greens is what I eat. But I'm not gonna say that we weren't meant to eat meat, because I know in the Bible it does, going back to a little bit of religion. We don't like to dive into it, but I know it did say somewhere in the Bible not to eat like animals with hoof feet.
Yeah.
Like so yeah, so I do think at some point, I think it did think at some point our bodies changed to be more reliant off the greens around us, off the crops around us and stuff like that. Because you got to remember back in the time before we got modern and we started getting more modern, all we used to do was crop. That's all we used to do was crop. Everybody had a farm. That's what, so I do understand. I do kind of agree with what you're saying. I think it's more meant for us to eat more greens and vegetables than we eat meat. But a lot of people eat more of a meat. The way my boy Walter, I don't think Walter's vegan. I think Walter's vegetarian or somewhere in between the two. I forget what he calls himself.
Nah, Episcopalian.
There you go.
Pescatarian, so he eats fish only.
Yeah, he only eats fish. Yeah. And he was
and he always is a guy that eats his greens too.
Yeah, he was explaining to me. He was like, "Yo, it don't matter. It don't really matter what you eat as long as you eat more greens than what you eat. If you eat more vegetables,
he will tell
you
that.
fine." So
he is a man that actually eats servings of vegetables.
I'll make a big portion of cabbage, spinach, and kale, and then I'll eat a little piece of meat with it.
Think about like this too. And this is digging into like, community and all that stuff. Look at what our diet consists of, especially when I was in Jersey City. Well, when I was there out in the morning, I have that bacon, egg, and cheese. I had that pizza for lunch.
Bro, don't bring up bacon, egg, and cheeses right now to me, bro. I miss that right now. I need me a corner store bodega bacon, egg, and cheese with salt, pepper, ketchup on that bad boy and mayo. Oh my God, bro.
Yeah, that's like that diet we had in Jersey City. It's like you're surrounded by unhealthy food because it's easily accessible. So I had bacon, egg, and cheese for dinner, pizza, Crown's chicken for dinner. Where's my greens? Ain't no greens there.
See, I would say this. My grandmother made sure we had vegetables on our plate, and we couldn't leave the table unless we finished those vegetables. So I would save that. But I used to do a trick. All right, for all the kids out there that don't want to eat your greens, bro.
Got to.
Oh God.
Swallow them.
Yeah, little ones. Oh God.
Swallow them.
And even if you don't like a certain vegetable one way, try it a different way. And that's for the adults too. Because this coming from a man that don't like spinach.
I just found out I like spinach.
Really?
See, and that's what I'm saying. I don't like spinach cooked. I like raw spinach. Like that's it. I can eat that junk. I don't know, man.
And some cabbage.
Cabbage.
Kale, I could get jiggy with. Some kale. I could do some kale. I used to eat kale salads all the time.
I'm probably gonna get a smoked. Listen, I'm probably gonna get a smoked turkey neck tomorrow. I thought make a big pot of cabbage, kale, and spinach.
I feel that.
Eat some salmon. Eat some salmon with it.
Salmon.
Yeah.
I'll slap my grandma for
this is so when I say salmon, when I say salmon, is it salmon or salmon?
I don't care how
I don't care.
Says it. Yeah, I don't
we
care.
Don't care.
I call it salmon.
This dude could barely pronounce any word right. I'm surprised if he gets any big word right.
Thank you for telling the world that I'm illiterate. Thank you.
Yeah,
you're not illiterate. You just difficult. You just hate. You don't care about pronouncing words right.
Find a word.
Because that's how bad it is.
Because every time I talk to my mom, she make up words like every single time.
I make them up too. All right.
Like the other day, she's like, I'll have to connect to the Wi-Fi, and I was like, "What's the Wi-Fi, Ma?" She was like, "No, the Wi-Fi." I'm like, "No, you mean Wi-Fi." She was like, "Oh yeah, like or GP." She's like, "I gotta get on my GP." I'm like, "What's the GP?" "Oh, my GPS." I'm like, making up shit.
Yeah, because old people, they try to get hit with the language, and it's a barrier. It's a big barrier. So, but it is important. Like we talk like this, and I want the podcast in this for people that's watching. Like you guys, you bullshit a lot. Now I want it because it's genuine. Like we all boys here. I want people to, even when people that we don't know come up here, I want them to see that they could come up here and be them free selves and just talk. Like if you have something in mind that you want to talk about, you want to share with the people that's watching, share it. I'm not going to sit here and cut you off unless I feel like we need to get back on track, which we were kind of on track. We're not too far off the track. We're talking about the community. We're talking about things that we've been through in the communities, things we learned growing up. So for you guys to be like, yo, they just sitting here bullshit. Yeah, we just sitting here bullshit, but it's things, if you listen, we are saying stuff, and that's the point I'm getting over. But it is important for our communities to step up and be better, because as parents need to step up and be better, because we put a lot of onus on other people and not ourselves, bro. We put a lot of onus on the people around us and not ourselves, and we are the ones that need to step up.
And then even for the parents that are too hard on themselves, man, don't be afraid to ask for help, man.
Yeah, there are groups out there, man. Like I said, I'm in like 4 different dad groups on Facebook, bro. They have mother groups too. If you guys need comfort, go in those groups. Man. There are guys up there. There are guys in that group talking about they're getting divorced and they need advice on how they should deal with it. They got kids. Like you can find people that's going through the same thing.
Sometimes if you just need a break, like you always sometimes you gotta calm yourself down and get your mental in order to be able to handle your child, Because sometimes, especially the first time in beginning parents, when you're going through that stage, your child being a baby and you losing sleep, there's probably going to be times you're just going to be like, yo, I can't do this no more. But hey, you get through it.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of times you got to catch yourself.
Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Any parents out there, man, if you want somebody to talk to, I'm here. I'm a parent. I'm free mostly all my days. So hit me up. The IGs and stuff is in the link below. You can hit me up on Instagram. Come check out the
Don't be
Facebook
afraid.
group. Like, you got people here for you, man. And I think that's an important factor of why I wanted to start this podcast, because I don't think people understand that the community around you is there for you. You just gotta allow them.
And we
to
can
be there
relate
for
to
you.
all parents, because we out here with the doubled up best of both worlds club. We got the boys and the girls.
And
Andrew out here too with his
always
two girls.
always learn from what you go through.
Andrew out here having tea parties, guys.
No, for real.
Don't repeat it. Always
he
learn.
is Mrs. Nesbitt.
Always learn. Always learn from what you go through. Don't repeat it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a real thing people need to understand, because we all
unless
have
it's something in your family that you want to keep going. Like if y'all go to get ice cream after dinner, go ahead, keep that going. Because stuff like that is good.
Not even that. Start your own traditions. That's what I wanted when I got
my family.
But
nothing wrong with keep some of the good ones though.
Start your own, and
start your own.
Kids, we make up traditions all the time. Like
right. Start your own.
We do night rituals, like a bunch of things that only me and my kids would know,
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I dance for my kids on the way in the bed.
Your family, like I get it. Like some families want to stick together. Like go out and have your big family dinners, but throughout that week, have something that you and your kids could relate to. Like,
absolutely. Me and my kids, we'll go at night. We'll go on the balcony at night. We'll count stars. We'll do like weird, and they love that stuff.
Yeah, because they just have creative minds, bro, and all they want to do is just soak stuff in. And we are the keys to that information that they want to soak in. But some of us, a lot of people, a lot of these parents in the hood, and I lived in the hood for 30 years, even as a child, growing up to be 30 now. I see a lot of, and I just could talk about the people around me, the Black and Spanish people around me, man. They don't raise their kids. They smoke around their kids. They drink around their kids. They party around their kids. They have different men and women around their kids. And it's like, what are we teaching them at the end of the day? We're teaching them that this behavior is right.
Teaching them that fast right.
We're teaching them that behavior is right and it's not wrong. And what it does is it repeats the cycle. The cycle keeps going like this, and it keeps going like this, and
waiting for someone to break it.
Right. And if it ain't broken, it's just gonna keep circling.
Keep going.
And every time it makes that lap around, it gets worse and it gets worse.
Like that's one thing I can say about my pops. Like even though he was like I had him by like it was just him. Like after I moved to Jersey, that's one thing I can say about my pops. He did good at hiding his habits from me. You know, he did good at it. But as I got older, though, he knew he could relax because like it's around me everywhere else. You know. So it's like he knew he could relax up, and he's like, "Yeah, I do drink," you know. And saying when he would smoke his Black and Mild, I had this cologne that was called Cubano, and it looked like a cigar. And I would act like I would be joining my pops to just have one. He would always tell me like, "You know, this isn't good for you," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I just want to feel like I'm joining you, you know. Like I just want to feel like I'm cool."
I was just about to say that's the bad behavior I'm talking about.
You know, for real. Like it went both ways, you know.
See, for our fathers and for our parents, like Angel, you touched on something that's very important in the community is the parents that come before them. Like our parents didn't get it right, so now we're not going to get it right, and then our children ain't going to get it right, and then their children ain't. And like I said, it goes back to that cycle. You have to stop that cycle. You have to change, and that's why I said come up with your own traditions. Come up with your own holiday traditions and what you do. I'm trying to do all that with my family because I want to get away from the things that I were around as a kid because I don't want to carry those things on into my daughter and my son lives. They're going to be teenagers one day. They're going to be adults in this world one day, and it's our job to prepare them for that because most parents don't prepare their kids for that. That's why most kids now in inner cities are dying from gang violence. It's because parents are too busy trying to keep the roof over their head and food on the table, and nobody's home to teach these kids lessons.
That's why my cycle I want to break as a parent is being there for my kids.
Right, single mothers go out, work 2-3 jobs, and got to go home and take care of their kids by their damn self. They ain't got no help because their family don't want to help them because you put yourself in that particular. Single fathers. Where do they get help from? Let's be honest. Where do single fathers get help from? Nowhere. Like they do that shit on their own. And most of the time they have a job or 2 jobs to support their kid. So who watches the kid? The grandparents or somebody they trust. So we spend so much time away from them that we don't teach them the values they need until it's too late, until they can't soak them shit up. And we need to teach them values when they can soak it up, when their brain is a sponge, because when they hit teenager years, that's when they start forming their identity, and when their identity starts forming, it's hard to change it. It's hard to change who who they become, because it's who they are. It's what's been around them. It's what they feel happy with, and it's what they feel inside. And you can't go to your kid and be like, yo, that's wrong. You feel that way when you're the one behind the teachings of why they feel that way, or why they act that way, or why they are the way they are, why they're the person they are. It's on us. That shit falls on us. Like, my father said something to me when I was a kid that always stuck with me. He was like, yo, we carry our children's sins until they're of the age of knowing right from wrong. And I was like, all right, well, I need to do my job in that time. So when they do know right from wrong,
I've heard something like that in a different way, said in a different way.
They don't need to carry their own sins because they live the right way. And that's the key. And then we have mothers out here too. Like, let's talk about it. Let's be for real. Like, we have mothers out here that praise their kids being in the streets. We have parents out here that praise their kids following in their father's footsteps, who's in jail for the rest of his life for killing somebody, and now his son just killed somebody. There are parents out here that praise that, and I don't condone that shit. I don't think we should be praising our young kids killing somebody, or anybody killing somebody. That's not something to praise. Like, if that was your life on the line, or your life that would take it, you standing by the gates of heaven and you looking down, I bet you your first thought is, damn, I wish it wasn't.
Unless my man was like a pedophile or something like that, then I'll kind of be okay.
Yeah, that's a different story.
Like, unless you was out here bringing down the community and you got killed, I might not be too bad.
No, I wouldn't be mad. No, I'm not mad at no pedophile getting off, because they to me is like worst of the worst, especially like the one that because I think pedophiles could be a lot of things. They could be people that creep on, like peeping toms, stalkers. I think you could kind of label them as pedophiles, but like for children pedophiles, like them niggas, I just don't get it.
You know, it's crazy that you say that, Justin, because society and as a whole, all these rich motherfuckers, that's what they do. Yeah. They do all this pedophilia stuff. What they trying to do now is they trying to normalize it little by little. That way 20, 30 years from now, legally it can be acceptable to do it, you know? And that's what they're doing now.
And guess who kids affected by that? Yours.
Exactly. No, it'll be my kids' kids.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the young people out there. Their kids is going to be the ones affected.
Same thing about motherfuckers that's rapists too.
Pay attention to all that, like the Harvey Weinstein, that even, you know, when you get now we get on the politics, but like all these rich motherfuckers, that's what they do. That's exactly what they do. Go to private islands.
What did Tbrown, what did Mark say last week why JF Kennedy died?
Oh yeah, just because he knew what it was.
He started out in the secret societies. Now who you think is these rich white folks? The secret societies. And what do you think they want? They want young boys and girls. It's what they do. And we gotta find some way to stop that shit, bro. Why you think what was the famous guy that just got arrested for human trafficking? I forget his name. It's the guy that was just recently in the news. He got arrested for human trafficking.
I know you're not talking about my man that had Wayfair.
Was it him?
I don't want to say. That's the last time I heard about something. That's the only person I could think of. My man that had the company Wayfair, because he was doing the human trafficking through his furniture.
Yeah.
Oh, the owner of Wayfair?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Damn.
That's the last time I heard about something like that I could think of with human trafficking.
Yeah, but then let's talk about that normalizing it. Like, you hear everybody talking about now that being liking younger people is a sexual preference now, because we got all this craziness going on.
Yeah, exactly.
With this cisgender this and this, that. Like, we need to just get back to a time and age where we could just be ourselves. Just be you. We did, like, why I need to know what you're doing in your bed, bro? We didn't grow up like that in the 90s, bro. You didn't grow up like that. There's some of you guys out here too that grew up in the 90s that's following along. You didn't grow up like that, bro. Like I said to Mark last week, we didn't even know our parents was having sex, bro. So why we need to know what our neighbors doing? Like I get it. Us guys, when we was younger, we be in the locker room, what's that? Like, that's different. Like, but when you literally trying to make it a social thing for everybody to just out their sexual preferences and their sexual orientation for acceptance, that's not how the world works. Like, that is not how the world works. We do not work that way, bro. Just be you. I would accept you for whoever you are. Just be you. Nobody cares. Nobody literally cares. I'm telling you, nobody cares. Regular humans like us, we don't care. We just love you because you're a human. That's it. We don't see you no differently. We don't see you by your sexual preference. We don't care if you like men. We don't care if you like women. We don't care if you care what we like. We don't want you to care what we like. And I think that's the point. I think people miss that point. And that goes into society too. It goes into our communities around us because we didn't have that shit in our community. We didn't know who our neighbors was fucking. We didn't know who our parents was having sex with.
Up until we were like 15, 16.
Right. When we started to understand what sex was.
Yeah.
Because at that age in high school, you start understanding what sex is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's when you find out, like, oh shit, that's what. Oh shit, remember that time?
Really?
Oh, remember when I knocked on the door and I heard that? Like, yeah, then you start putting
I
together.
put two and two together, like
right.
Man.
We don't know what sex is at that young age. Like we don't, and now we're putting it on younger people to
it's crazy
know what
too.
sex is.
I know y'all may not heard. Actually, no, y'all probably did hear about it. Them LOL dolls.
Mm-hmm.
They actually have genital tubes on them.
Yeah.
So if you pull down their LOL dolls, if you pull down, like take off their skirt, you'll see a penis or a vagina. And that's part of normalizing this. They're putting in the toys to make it acceptable for a 3-year-old to see a penis. Yeah, it's.
I need to know what this LOL doll is. I'm gonna Google that just so I know.
To make it even worse, if you take a LOL kid doll, right, you put it under cold water. A stripper like panties and bra will come on a figurine if you put in like different water, like cold, if you change the temperature. Like this stuff is real. They're trying to normalize this shit.
No, I totally agree. They are trying to normalize it. They're trying to just sneakily and with the pandemic.
T-Brown about to buy LOL doll. Like, let me go see.
I'm not about to buy. I'm about to Google these so I can keep this away from my
dolls are about.
Like literally a penis on a 4-year-old.
So how do you parents out there? How do you guys feel about that? Write down below in the comments how you guys feel about that.
Yeah.
Because that's crazy, bro. They're literally trying to poison our kids' minds with nonsense that they protected us from getting poisoned from. Like we got protected from it, and now they like your kids don't need to be protected from it. Like what? Yes, they do. Like there are real dangers out here that kids face.
On the flip side too, like I can see both. Like some parents are saying, well, if I don't agree with it, but like some parents are saying, like, well, if they get to understand what that is, they can prevent bad things happening, like the pedophilia. Like kids. They know, kids.
Kids can prevent it. Kids.
Like they'll understand, like, hey, that's not okay to touch that.
Okay, and what happens when a grown-up is touching it? They're gonna stop it. But that doesn't teach them anything.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Justin. They're not going to be able to. Someone can force their will on them, right? Like, whatever they want, But
just because you understand that this guy has a penis, now you're knowing, like, oh shit, as a little girl, he's about to put this thing in me that doesn't belong.
In some cases, it starts off like a flash or like a touch.
Yeah, that's true.
And the kid can say, "Well, I know what that is. I know I'm not supposed to be touching that."
They can go to the mother. Yes. I can agree with that part, but they don't have to know.
They know, they kind of understand, like, no, I can't be around that. I shouldn't be.
Right.
I get what that being like. That's
but they don't have to know what a vagina and a
penis is
to tell them. Yeah. In my opinion, I don't think they need to know what a vagina and a penis is to tell their mother that somebody flashed them. I think in potty training, kids understand what they have a little bit, and they know. If you explain it to them, they understand that nobody's supposed to touch them. And even though if you can build that relationship, and that's why I said we need to get to know our kids on a deeper level, because sometimes our kids are getting touched and molested, and they come home and they show signs of it, and we don't pay attention to it. It's not that we don't know, T, it's that we don't pay attention to it until it's too late. And then you have another Jerry Sandusky on you. Was it Jerry or was it another one? It wasn't Joe Paterno, it was Jerry Sandusky. So we need to be more vigilant. We need to teach our kids that they have a private part that nobody touches. Because that's what we do with my daughter. We just teach her she has a private part that nobody is allowed to touch.
Exactly.
We don't tell her she has this vagina, and like, because their brains don't know what that shit is. So even if you're telling them it's on dolls, their brains don't know what this shit is. They're gonna think it's another piece of the doll they could play with. Like you're gonna I'm not gonna say that, but they're gonna play with the dolls. Like I do find a problem with you putting genitals on dolls, because I don't think kids need to be exposed to that. I think we're trying to expose our kids to sexual activity now, which is crazy.
Like, is it graphic? Like, is it detailed and shit too?
Yeah, you see the dangling and 2 balls, like, and then you can see the vagina and nipples and everything. There's a whole.
Well, I mean, our dogs had titties on them when they was younger, so. But I mean, that's as far as I would go because they're breasts. Men can have like big breasts and shit. So.
But at the same time, my Wolverine piece wasn't there though. He didn't have that.
No, we didn't have figurines with dicks.
That's what I'm saying.
Like we did not have figurines with dicks, but that's what I'm saying. They're trying to change the time where. So Angel just showed us a picture of the dog. I'm gonna edit that out. If you guys do want to see it, it's the LOL dogs. You go research it on your own.
Oh God, that's
crazy. Will YouTube ban you from showing that, Justin?
Maybe.
Really?
They might give me. Yeah, they might flag my video.
Yeah, and then TikTok won't let that on there either.
Yeah, they might flag it.
You can't even. Yeah, you can't even say certain words to call somebody stupid on there. They'll flag you for real.
Yeah, we live in a sensitive
world. You can't
even.
And that goes to.
But at the same time, though, I understand with TikTok though because you have some little kids on there. That's why. That goes back to what we're talking about. Like on TikTok, they are real strict with stuff like that because it's dead ass like 9-year-olds and shit making TikTok videos out this motherfucker, just trying to get some views and just having fun. Just trying to be up with the dance challenges and shit, right? They just be doing it. So that's why.
But now we need to start, we gotta figure it out, bro, because like we can't get to a time where sexual orientations or sexual anything is in a 4-year-olds, a 3-year-olds, a 2-year-olds.
Oh God.
Curriculum of learning. Because now you're making
that's
them susceptible
that's too soon
to me. See, this is what I don't get. And I mentioned this in another episode of the podcast. Is we went through this era in the 2000s, early 2000s of 16 and pregnant. That's how y'all got all those shows, 16 and pregnant, 16 and after, whatever, before, whatever it is. You got all them 16 and pregnant. That happened in our time. And do you know the outrage that was going on? Because many of people's 16-year-old daughters was popping up pregnant because they was having sex.
Oh God.
It's an outrage. We need to stop it. We got to stop now. They're too young. They can't be having these. Now you want to tell a 4-year-old that they can know what a vagina and a dick is.
Oh. Wow, the world's changing.
It is. It is. And it's not for the better for the kids, bro. It's not. And that's my problem.
A lot more information.
You do.
Information gets out quick.
You do.
We're about to have here's something else we need to pay attention to. We're about to have one internet system. What's the dude? Elon Musk, SpaceX, and all that. Satellites up. Everyone can have internet on one system, no matter what part of the world you're from. So if you're in China, you'll be part of the internet. So there's no censorship. Like literally everything's just gonna be available to everyone at the same time. So it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild.
I would like to see it. I would like to see it. Are we gonna get information? Is that the way they're gonna be transparent with us? Are we gonna be able to find out what the
transparency is gonna be big because like if you go to China, you don't have access to the information we have in the United States.
No, you don't.
Right. So once we get onto one global network, information can be shared quickly, money can be sent quickly, crypto, all this stuff is gonna be all one currency. Like it's gonna get crazy.
You talking about this new world order?
Yeah, that we gotta do a whole series on that.
See, my dad said it ain't gonna be here, but it ain't gonna happen while we here because we was talking about it.
I don't know.
And I told him, I was like, one person that is not gonna follow that new world order is Vladimir Putin, and you literally gonna have to
Vladimir Putin.
Oh, Putin. Yeah, he ain't putting up with these niggas. You know he don't like nobody. He ain't putting up with nobody's shit. Like he will kill you, bro. He will try his best to kill you, bro. You're like you gotta know who this man is. Look up his history. You gotta know who he is. I don't think, unless he's one of the masterminds behind it, I don't think he gets with the New World Order, and I think he fights against them if he's alive when it happens. Because Vladimir is strictly about his business, like what he wants.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I thought he was dead already, bro.
No, Vladimir's still.
Putin?
Putin's still kicking. Putin ain't. It's hard. It's gonna be hard to get to that man.
Now you got them. You got China. You got North Korea, not South Korea. You got North Korea.
But I think North Korea would be a part of it.
No,
I think China would be a part of it.
No, I don't know about that.
You said they're already smart. They don't need to be a part of everybody else's internet.
See, but when they say New World Order, it's supposed to be the whole world. So everybody gets on board. You either get on board or you lay down. That's what it's going to be.
Internet.
That's what it's going to be. You either get down with the order, or we gonna lay you down. But that's what I'm saying.
Lay down.
Right.
I'm about to say, wait, hold on. So we just turn to being single out this mug now?
They are going to be.
We stay property out this mug now.
There gonna be countries that fight back. They might not have the army or the guns or the weapons, but they're gonna fight back. When that happens, it doesn't become the factor of living anymore. It becomes the factor of what is right.
I was talking to my wife. I was like, we're like, man, let's move to a different country. I was like, where you trying to go? She was like,
no way.
No, Australia or some shit like that.
Australia got good. They got a good. I used to work at Starbucks, and it was an Australian lady, and she actually went back home, and she was like, yeah, healthcare is free, school's free, this is free, that's free, this free, that.
Yeah, tax crazy, bro.
She's like, I can't do this American life. I'm going back home. So,
crazy.
But
they gotta be dope. Shoot, they told us for us backwards. You gotta be a dope place. If that's the case.
Let's push it forward. Let's push it forward. So we're not just sitting here, talking like boys.
Going down a bunch of rabbit holes.
But people want to see that. If you like any of the little conversations we had, leave it down in the comments, and maybe we'll have an episode with Angel back on, and we can talk more about it. More about communities, more about parenting, more about the way we grew up.
I mean, we could go down another rabbit hole. Shoot, what type of peanut butter you prefer?
Yeah. But what do you hope from? What do you hope for your future? What is your hopes for your future?
For my future, so here's what I tell everyone, and this isn't to get anyone to join. I ain't no recruiter. I don't get paid for this. All my successes I had in my life have been, I can directly point it to the military. For example, me purchasing my first home, the military gave me that. They had special benefits for me to buy my first home. Education, I went from no college to master's degree with the military paid for it. I had no student debt. Military take care of me. They also paid my rent while I was going to school. They paid my school and they paid my rent. So for me, I've been so blessed. I literally can't complain. Being able to structure my life and discipline myself, I've been able to do so much, so for me, it's like, I can't complain. I have a beautiful family. I'm good, business, something I just got into recently too. I started my own business. Now I'm trying to grow multiple businesses now.
That's what's up. Congratulations.
It's like, I appreciate it. And it was like, for a while, it was like, and I told you this yesterday, Justin, how people think. I'm like, I'm just this dude from Jersey City. Who gonna take me serious? Mm-hmm. And once I got that out of my head and I actually started doing shit and build my own business, like, it's crazy. Like, I can't even keep up. Like, it's just wild. But you gotta take that first step, You gotta actually go and do it. And
stop thinking about it and just do it.
Don't think about what no one, literally, when you stop caring about what others think of you, that's it. You'll take off from there. I had self-doubt in my head. Well, what are people going to think about if I do this? Nah, fuck that. Just do that shit.
Just do it.
Shit just took off.
OnlyFans, here I come.
Yeah. But if you could tell a youth that's going into the Army or any military branch, one thing, what would you tell them?
This is general. Like, you don't have to be. Like I said earlier, you don't have to be successful by going in the military. You don't have to be successful by going to law enforcement. But it's definitely I would call it a cheat code. If you lack that discipline, if you lack structure, definitely go in the military. You'll get that easy. Mm-hmm. Or if you lack motivation, you just don't know where you're going. Find yourself a mentor. But I think ultimately, I think for majority, just do what's right. A lot of people know, for the most part, hey, I can choices and chances. I can make good choices, or I can take a chance. Don't take that chance, because you're gonna wind up in a pattern to where you're gonna be locked up. You're gonna stay in the streets. You're gonna fuck up you're gonna get a record. It's gonna be hard for you to get a job or build anything. No one's gonna take you serious. Just take that choice. Make the good choices in life. And if you don't know what that is, surround yourself with people who are making those choices, because it'll rub off on you. I'm telling you, you want to be a drug dealer, hang around drug dealers. You want to be successful, hang around successful people.
That is 100% a fact.
I'm 29 and I have a mentor right now. This dude, he don't look 62, but he's 62. and he looked like he in his 30s. This dude's a millionaire. He has it all. And I needed that guidance. I needed that, hey, this is where I want to go. And he came in and was like, listen, you want to put in the work? I said, absolutely. He took me under his wing. Like, if you need guidance, find a mentor. Find people that's doing it.
Yep.
Get beyond them, and then it'll take off from there,
Yep.
But that's all I have, man.
I totally agree. 100%. You couldn't have said it any better, man. I mean, we all struggle. You guys got to remember that we all struggle. And like you said, if you need help, man, find somebody to help you. Always find somebody and put people around you to what you want to succeed in. All right. Yep. If you don't want to be nothing, hang around people that don't want to be nothing.
Exactly.
There's an old saying from our time. Show me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are.
Yep, that is 100% true.
Your friends play an important role in who you shape yourself to be. Trust me. There are a lot of people out here that you can go and look at stories that were good kids, hung around with the wrong people, and then now in jail, wasted their life because their friend killed somebody.
I literally just said one.
So you guys need to think about that. That is real factors out here that play into life decisions, and we don't, as kids or as teenagers, as grown up, even sometimes as parents, we don't understand all those factors, and we need to get together. And that's what I said. If you guys need help, if you're a single father, if you're a single mother, there are Facebook groups you can get into, and there are people there that support you. And I had an unpopular conversation with the guys in there. We don't even know each other. We had a conversation about beating our kids. So I mean, you never know what you can find in there. Like, so Angel is right when he says that you got to surround yourself by the people that want to get done what you want to get done, or that did or doing what you want to do, because that's the only way you succeed in it. There is another saying. It's another saying. It's not what you do, it's who you know.
No, what you know is who you know.
There you go.
Yeah, that is true.
It applies. So anything else for the people, Angel? Anything else you want to share with the people?
That's all.
Tyrone, anything you want to ask Angel before we get him up out of here and get him back to his family? No.
Well,
I appreciate y'all having me on here.
Thank you, man. The appreciation is for you, man.
Good combo.
Yeah, it was a great conversation. We did talk as boys. I know I don't have a sometimes I'm full interview or podcast. Sometimes I'm a nigga. Like, I get it. Like, but I like that feeling. I want this show to be different. I want you guys to see that I'm gonna be the same way with people I don't know. Just because there are people that I do know, I'm gonna be the same way with people I don't know. I want them to feel comfortable. I want them to come on and have fun while talking about real things, bro. So, Angel, we want to thank you for stopping by.
How you got Alaskan wife? I'm still stuck on that. That's fucking awesome.
Shout out to Alaska, man. Shout out to Alaska.
Mama, yo.
Shout out to Alaska. Yeah, but man, we want to thank you for stopping by, man. It's been a pleasure. We're gonna have Angel back on. We're gonna have him back on another time. We'll get him back on the show. We'll find something else that we could get on and talk about. Maybe some conspiracies and rabbit holes in the government. I don't know.
We'll be on here for like 10 hours.
Yeah, it might be we might
talk about.
We might do a series. It might be a 5-episode series. But yeah, thank you, Angel, man. We really appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one.
We're gonna see you later, man. You enjoy. You be good, man.
All right, y'all.
Ooh, so that was a good one, man. That was a good one, guys. We are at the end, and you know I like to go on my little soliloquies at the end. So here we go. The reason of Angel coming on was to show you that it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter where you grow up or how you grow up. You can make it in life. That's the point of Angel coming on. You can make it in life. It's that simple. That's simple. He literally grew up across the street from me, and now he's 11 years in the Army, got a house, started his own business, has 2 beautiful kids and a wife. That could be you. It could literally be you. You just got to be.
Or just overall, just making it out of the hood, just making it out of the hood and making something better for yourself.
You got to
like
be
we were
willing
saying, breaking that cycle, yo.
To put in
breaking that cycle. And make something better for yourself.
All right, got to put in the work. Parents out there.
Don't be afraid to quit, guys.
Look, we get it. We're parents. We know sometimes it gets hard. Sometimes you get frustrated and you don't want to try. We all got to step up. I got to do a better job at it. T trying to do a better job as he mentioned. We all got to do a better job at it. But we can't sit here and keep the same torment and the same cycles going on with our children from our generation. We need to change it. Change has to happen somewhere. It has to happen with us. If not, we doom our kids to fail and become statistics just like we are.
Yeah, we are. I know how you feel about going through that cycle of just not thinking that you don't got nothing. But sometimes you just got to get out your funk and open your eyes. Man. And it starts with just being grateful for what you got.
What you got. If you struggle, find somebody that's doing it. Find somebody that actually has the same dreams as you, that you can trust and you can build a relationship with, and do it together. And then when you guys get to a place where you guys feel like you're comfortable, break apart and do it on your own. We all have to realize.
Start a podcast together.
Like, there you go. That's what we doing here. We grew up together. We lived some of these experiences together, and we just want people to understand that there's
why I
a
said
better
off rip.
road.
I miss Angel because, like you said, you was across the street from him. I was down the street from both of y'all. Angel the man.
Children need that community aspect in their lives. Like, and we are busy. I know a lot of you are going to relate to what I said earlier in this podcast, that we are busy as parents trying to provide and make sure our kids are safe and they have a home and food on the table. I get it.
You just got to make that time to connect with your babies.
Yes. Get to know them on a deeper level. Get to know their emotions. Get to know what they like, what they don't like, all that. Like, we pay attention to allergies and foods, like, no, pay attention to emotions and thoughts and what they say and how they speak and what they like watching, what they favor more, what toys they favor more, why they favor them more. Watch them play, see how they interact with themselves. Get to know them in different ways that you don't know your kids. And I think that would have been vital for me as a kid when I was growing up. If my father and my grandmother just took the time out to get to know who I was as a kid, it would have did me so many wonders than me having to become an adult and spend 2 years of my life trying to find out who I am, how to fix me, and then be a good part of society. Because I wasn't always a good person. I never been to jail. I never got locked up. I mean, we all do crime as kids, petty crime, but I was fortunate enough to have a smart head on my own shoulders to think for myself and to keep myself out of trouble.
Now let me stop.
Yeah, to keep myself out of trouble. And today's society that we live in, kids don't do that. Kids don't think for themselves. They let the people out on the corner think for them, put the drugs and the guns in their hands. And we have parents, we're at work, and we don't know.
All right, back up, bro. Your camera about to fog up.
Nah. You got to feel the heat. You see the sweat? You got to feel the heat. All right? Because this conversation is heat, bro. It's hot. All right? Because we don't do enough for our children. Like, we think we do, but we don't. We don't set them up for success. And we have to be better at that. Like I said, I'll say it again. The reason for Angel coming on here today was what, Tbrown?
It was just to show that you can make it, no matter where you come from.
Make it out the hood. So the quote of the day is, which I think goes well with what we talked about, especially with the way Angel like how he left it off. Stay focused. The quote is, "Keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground," by Theodore Roosevelt. Theodore Roosevelt. Theodore Roosevelt. Keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground.
Thanks,
I hope you guys know what that means. Because it's self-explanatory, man.
I get it.
Keep your eyes on your dreams and don't stray too far from it.
Stay grounded. Stay humble.
Don't stray too far. Exactly. Stay humble. Keep integrity.
Humble. Stay true to yourself, but don't be afraid to go for your dreams, baby.
And sometimes change.
And coming from a man that has had a taste of chasing his dreams and making his dreams come true. It's not a lie. Stay humble to yourself, because you will run into some stuff that will try and throw you off. You will run into some people, even people that are ahead of you in your dreams. It'll get you discouraged because you want that, but don't let it get you down. Let it fuel you.
100%.
That's all I'll tell you.
100%. We gotta be true to ourselves and not get discouraged by what other people think, man. And just remember, no matter where you are, what you're doing, your situation, if you work, you can make it, bro. Anybody can make it. It might not be your initial goal. It might not be your second, third, fourth goal. But keep pushing. Keep trying. You could be just as successful as Angel was. Being what he said something key. I'm just a kid from Jersey City, bro. I'm just a kid from the inner city of a hood in the inner city. How are they gonna take me seriously? And we all feel like that. Scratch that. Show them how to take you serious.
No matter where you from, whether you in Sheboygan or whether you just make it happen.
This is a little different of a podcast. I know you guys gonna feel it, but it's a message in here, though. We gotta change. Us parents gotta change. We gotta shape our kids better, or mold their brains better with knowledge of understanding the world around them. Like we have to be better. We have to keep our eyes on the stars and our feet on the ground. But this your boy Troy.
All right, and it's your boy Tbrown.
This is the What's Up Brother podcast, and we gonna catch you guys in the next one. Peace
Out.